live on both. We are live on YouTube.
We are live on YouTube, and let's go live on Rumble.
Rumble will be coming live as well, which is excellent.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Right. Welcome. How exciting is this?
Very exciting for all sorts of reasons.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. So the aim of this evening is the fact that we're going to be doing the diploma, or the Bitcoin diploma, with my first Bitcoin. There's 10 chapters, and we will be doing a chapter each week, which is so we're just going to take it slowly and just see how it goes.
Yep. So a little bit of housekeeping to start with. What we're going to do is, on our website, if you're looking for information, it is there. So we've got the Rumble link and the YouTube link for today's videos specifically. In the future, there'll be the other videos and playlists. Also, the My First Bitcoin Diploma sign up form if you want to go in the draw, because at some point we're going to give away a hardware wallet to somebody who's on that list. So if you'd like to be in for a chance to win, put your name and email in there. Also on the website, we always have links to My First Bitcoin Diploma. So you can visit their GitHub. You can download the Spanish and English diplomas for free. And we've also dropped in their donation sites as well. Their donations are all in Bitcoin. So you might need to do the diploma to send them Bitcoin. Yeah. While we're on the topic of making My First Bitcoin donations, this is also their My First Bitcoin donation page. And you can make an on-chain deposit and also a lightning deposit, which is really cool. And they've got a Geyser campaign as well, which is really cool. I haven't opened that. We'll open that real quick. And on here, this basically, you can support them. Whoa, wow. Geyser, they have just gone and put in 10 million sats towards My First Bitcoin. Amazing.
Wow, that's incredible.
They only did that, 10 hours ago. They did that today. That's super cool. That's really good news. They got a lot of traction at the moment. It's really exciting what they're doing. Alrighty, let's have a look. What's next? We're going to go to the diploma.
Yeah.
So bear with me while I jump between screens. And all right. So, by the way, if anybody needs the diploma, in the description down below of the Rumble video and the YouTube video, you can get a link to the English or Spanish and follow along with us.
Yeah. So welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining us to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to be reading through this first chapter and answering any questions and working through it. This, of course, is our first night doing this. If you've got any suggestions, please let us know in the comments. But what we thought we would do is pretty much open the floor to comments after we've done that first chapter and discussion.
Yep.
Okay. So before we get started on the actual first chapter, just a little bit about the Bitcoin Diploma. It's a 10-week transformation journey through independent, impartial, quality, and free education. So I don't know if any of you have downloaded the diploma already, and you may have read the first couple of pages. And there was a QR code that sent you to a movie called The End of Money as We Know It.
Let's have a look. I'm just going to show that, because Nicki's also got the diploma on her tablet in front of us. So this one here. So this, you will need your phone to scan these QR codes, and then you can open the link on your device. Yeah,
but this is an hour-long movie, but it was really good. We watched it the other night, and it was a great movie to watch. Yeah,
so we watched it. Very interesting. Basically, it goes over the history of money, and I learned things that I didn't know about money on there, which was pretty cool. They've got some different and obscure footage, which I hadn't seen before, and it's pretty cool. Yeah. So this is the video, 1 hour long, recommended watch if you want to learn more.
Yeah. So I suggest if you haven't watched it now, maybe, during the week, if you get a chance to sit down and watch it, it'll be really good.
Yep.
All right. So.
Okay. I think, so here there's a message from John, and it's only a short message. It's 1 minute. We've actually gone and loaded you can't see on what I'm looking at, but I've loaded it, and not that one. We want this one from John. So this is John Dennehy. He's the founder. He's living here in El Salvador. He's a really interesting guy. We've actually got an interview with him, which we recommend watching as well, but not for tonight.
No.
So I'm gonna play this now. And if there's any issues listening to it, say something in the comments.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't. John says he can't hear it.
Okay.
That's. Can you hear it now? All right. The other option is that I replay it through our microphone. So.
How it changes, or you let someone else.
Let's try it again.
Bitcoin will change the world. That is certain. What we get to decide is how. Bitcoin is much more than digital money. It can be a powerful force that will not only shape our future world, but our future selves. When used correctly, Bitcoin can be a tool that empowers the individual. I know that sounds vague now, but by the end of this course, you will have a basic framework of the why and the how. The foundation of ensuring that we make the right choices will be education. The world is changing. The choice you have is whether you decide how it changes or you let someone else decide for you.
I love that. Ending on a note of sovereignty. So we are here to choose, and that's what Bitcoin's all about. All right, let's get to it.
Absolutely.
I'm going to switch to the diploma now, and we're going to go through that. Let's have a look. I don't want that one. I want that one and that one. All right. So this is a 10 chapter. We're going to do one chapter per week. And Nicki and I are going to read through this. So if you don't want to read, you can just sit back and listen. So here we go. 1, ready. Are we ready?
Okay. Well, let's start with chapter 1 is the power of money.
The power of money.
Yeah.
Do you want to start? Or?
I will start. Absolutely. Okay. Ready. Bitcoin has been called many things: a fad, a scam, magic internet money. But behind the hype, there is a powerful technology that has the potential to change the way we think about and use money. The potential to change the world in a way that normal people like you and me have the opportunity to build wealth, become truly free, and live the lives we want to live. In this course, we will explore the flaws and limitations of our current financial system and how Bitcoin offers a potential solution. So if you're ready to go beyond the headlines and learn about the real possibilities of Bitcoin, let's dive in.
Now, I've actually done this we've done this a bit late, but I think the first half of the book is largely about what money is.
There's 3 chapters.
There's 3 chapters. Yep. So that's what we're going to be covering to give ourselves a foundation, because a lot of people think they know and might have a misunderstanding, and some people already know, but it's interesting to go through this anyway. We've skimmed through the first chapter already. I'm going to read the little Bitcoin guy. Hi, I'm Satoshi, an interactive assistant who will help you throughout the Bitcoin diploma. I'll give you data and recommendations to better understand. All right. So 1.1, class discussion. Now, the class discussion, we would love to have an open discussion with everybody, but we figured that will probably make this go on a lot further than all of us want. So we're going to go over the bullet points, and we may make a couple of comments, and then we'll move forward, because they cover a lot of these points in the first chapter.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you do have any questions, please write them down. So we can discuss at the end of the evening or the end of the chapter.
So we are keeping an eye on the questions, and we will answer them at the end.
Yeah.
All right. What is money? Please do not eat the piece of candy placed on your desk. I assume that the actual students get a piece of candy on their desk, which is pretty cool. And we're going to ask the question, and you guys can play along with this game. Who would be willing to trade their candy for $1 US? Now, and raise your hand if you would. Now, keep your hand up if you would still be willing to do the trade of your candy for $1 Monopoly instead of your piece of candy. Why or why not would you like to trade it? So our little Satoshi friend, he's saying the only difference between these two notes is your belief that one has more value than the other. And we're going to go into detail why that's true through the diploma. So what makes one bill so desirable and another one so good as trash? Another one as good as trash.
Yeah.
What gives money its value? What does money come from, and who decides how much of it to print? Why not print more money and distribute it among everyone equally? Which is a question that comes up in a lot of social media these days. Why are we paying taxes if they can just print money? And is money backed by gold or by any other commodity? Which is a great question, because there's actually a lot of people who still believe that the fiat currency is backed by gold. And how many people still use cash anyway? Which is also a great question. And living here in El Salvador, we definitely see cash as king.
Absolutely. And even in New Zealand, I would still use cash when I was going to the markets every Saturday morning. I used to go to the fresh fruit and veggie markets, and they would only accept cash. There's very few that actually had an EFTPOS or a card acceptance. And then quite often, I mean, as the way, I suppose, with my business and things, what I would be doing, I would also quite often get cash out for my spending for the week. Once it's gone, it's gone. And that's the way I kind of...
How you budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to start with this one?
Okay. The limited world, navigating scarcity in a growing economy. Imagine you're stranded in a desert and you only have one bottle of water left. You are thirsty and desperate for a drink. But you also know that you will need the water to survive until you can find more. This is a classic example of scarcity. You only have a limited amount of resource, water, and you must make a choice of how you use it. So in this situation, you might decide to ration it and take small sips over a longer period of time in order to make it last as long as possible. Alternatively, you might decide to drink as much as you can in one go, hoping that the burst of hydration will give you the energy you need to find more water. Regardless of which choice you make, you are faced with a difficult decision.
So the little light bulb tip, scarcity. Scarcity forces us to weigh the pros and the cons of how we use our resources and make trade-offs. In this case, the choice is between quenching your immediate thirst and conserving the water for later. The concept of scarcity applies to all kinds of resources, not just water. Whether it's money, time, or even love and attention, we are constantly faced with choices about how to allocate our limited resources. Point 1, there are two types of scarcity: man-made scarcity and natural. Man-made scarcity, also known as centralized scarcity, includes things like limited edition designer bags, rare sports cards, and numbered art pieces. These can be easily replicated or counterfeited. Natural scarcity, also known as decentralized scarcity, includes things like salt, shells, precious metals like gold. These are harder to replicate or counterfeit. The main difference between the two is control. Centralized scarcity is controlled by a single entity, like a company or government, while decentralized scarcity is not controlled by anybody.
And the little diagram that we've got here. So if we look at, I suppose, the virtual limitless human wants, and then, that sort of, and the things that we want, like we want food, we want fun, we want travel, we want home, we want cars, we've got drugs, jewelry, etc. in there.
Which are unlimited.
Yeah.
Unlimited wants.
And then we've got the limited resources and time, which is your land, your labor, your capital, your enterprise. And so you can definitely see
how the scarcity balances out.
Works.
All right. So scarcity affects our choices, and understanding it can improve our decision making. We often have to choose between immediate gains and long-term benefits, and these trade-offs shape our path to achieving our goals. In the context of the desert example, this means that you might be more inclined to drink all of the water right away, even if it means that you won't have any left for later. This is because the thirst you feel right now is more pressing than the potential thirst you might feel in the future. On the other hand, if you choose to ration the water and drink it slowly over time, you are demonstrating a lower time preference. This means that you are willing to wait to satisfy your thirst in order to have greater chance of survival in the long run. Scarcity and also time preference are really big philosophical points for Bitcoiners. I don't know if that's the right word, but we talk about it a lot. So these are really important points, not just because of Bitcoin, but because in life they are real things. I think Bitcoin just highlights the importance of them. So time preference refers to the idea that people generally prefer to have something now rather than later. So for example, people love social media because it rewards their dopamine hit right now. People love a credit card because they can spend more money than they have right now. People love a sugary soda drink because it gives them a good high right now. Opposed to going to the gym every day actually takes a long time to build muscle and see results. Putting time into your family, your relationships takes time.
Putting time into your mind.
Your education takes time.
Takes time.
The first time you do something, you might not remember it. After you've done it 100 times, you'll remember, you'll become more helpful to other people.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Time preference refers to the idea that people generally prefer to have something now rather than later. So, for example, let's say you have an option to receive $100 today or $110 in a year. If you have a high time preference, you might choose to receive the $100 today because you value the immediate satisfaction of having the money now more than the potential benefit of waiting for an extra $10 in a year. On the other hand, if you have a low time preference, you might be willing to wait for the large reward in the future. Because if you're less concerned with immediate gratification, the more focused on long-term planning. The concept of opportunity cost is closely related to the idea of scarcity and time preference. Oh, that's another chapter.
That's okay.
That's okay.
In the desert example, the opportunity cost of drinking all the water right away is the survival benefits you would have gained from rationing the water and using it over a longer period of time. So we're going to talk about the opportunity cost refers to the value of the next best alternative that you give up when you make a decision. Every decision involves trade-offs. So they've got some things here with today's choice, buying a $7 strawberry smoothie. It's nice and refreshing. Now spending another $7
in a different way.
And then the benefits of riding a bike, learning an instrument, and I'm not sure what the palm trees represent. Maybe
holiday. So
holiday.
I'm guessing. So rather than spending your $7 today and you save it, regularly saving $7.
I see.
You
okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you're saving the $7 to buy a bike, or buy a cello, or go on a holiday.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So saving is the opportunity cost of having the strawberry shake now versus saving for that awesome holiday in 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's say that you decide to ration the water and take small sips over a longer period of time. As a result, you have the energy and hydration you need to search for more water. However, while you're searching, you come across a cactus that has a small amount of water inside. It's not a lot, but it's enough to quench your thirst for the moment. If you had decided to drink all of the water at once, you might not have the energy to search for more water and come across the cactus. In this case, the opportunity cost of drinking all of your water at once would have been the chance to find the cactus and get more hydration. This example illustrates how opportunity cost involves not just the immediate trade-off between two options, but also the potential future opportunities that may be gained or lost as a result of our choices. Our willingness to give up a larger reward in the future in exchange for a smaller reward now is influenced by our time preference. How much we value immediate gratification versus long-term planning. And we have a table here. We're talking about corporations, governments, and societies all have to make choices. So for example, if you're running a corporation, you may have to fire 200 employees versus freezing wages or doing a wage cut. You may have to ask for a loan versus bringing in more investors or shareholders to help cover any shortfalls or investments that have been made. Governments and societies, the trade-offs that we make, building a new highway versus increasing teacher salaries. We've got to decide if we want the transportation or the education, and funding cancer treatment research versus clean energy. We've got to decide if we want health versus energy. These are just some examples. They're not necessarily exactly specific, but you can see how if we've only got $1 million to spend, we have to make a decision if we are going to spend it on one thing or the other, or if we ration it differently, because it's going to have a different long-term effect regardless of how we spend it now or later.
Yeah. All right. 1.3, definition of money. We can use it, but can we define it? Have you ever stopped to think about what money really is? Ever even wondered what makes money, well, money? Most of us know how to use it, but not many of us understand where it comes from or how it works. Money is essentially a way to exchange goods and services. It represents the value of these items in a form that can be easily traded. This can take many forms, such as paper notes, metal coins, and electronic payments. Governments or other authorities typically issue and control money. But money is so much more than just physical or digital medium of exchange. It's like a universal language that allows us to trade with people from all around the world, even if we don't speak the same language or have the same culture. For example, you can be on the other side of the world and still speak money by placing a product on the counter and exchanging it for a local currency or using a credit card. Money is like a social contract that allows us to make exchanges without having to rely on bartering or finding someone who specifically wants what we have to offer. If a group of people started accepting chocolate as payment for most goods and services, chocolate would become the money. Although since it would melt in some parts of the world, we might consider it bad money. As French economist Jean-Baptiste pointed out, money performs but a monetary function in exchange, and when the transaction is fully closed, it will always be found that one kind of commodity has been exchanged for another. In other words, money itself doesn't have the power to satisfy human wants. It's just a tool that allows us to trade one commodity for another.
Right. It's quite a interesting insight, because you can't really eat the money.
No.
All right. I'm gonna read the little Satoshi guy. Without money, how easy or feasible would this trade be? So they're trying to trade a cow for strawberries. Would you trade one cow for 1 million strawberries? Or is it 600,000 strawberries? How about 50,000 strawberries? And we've got a light bulb thing, transaction. As an exchange or transfer of goods and services, it is a way of exchanging value between two or more parties. There are many different types of transactions, ranging from simple exchanges, such as buying a sandwich in a deli, to more complex financial transactions, such as buying a house or investing in stocks or bonds. Transactions can be conducted in person, over the phone, online, or through other means. They can even involve a wide range of parties, including individuals, businesses, and financial institutions. We've got the light bulb at the bottom. Money is the value by which goods are exchanged. Money is not the value for which goods are exchanged. Now, the sentences are almost the same, other than this by and for. And I had to read it 3 or 4 times to really get my head around this. Money is the value by which goods are exchanged. Money is not the value for which the goods are exchanged. So just something to ponder. I'm not sure I totally get that one. I could actually probably use a bit more explanation from someone who maybe understands it a bit better. But it's quite interesting. It's a, what do you call it? A finer point of distinction.
It's a distinction. So in summary, money. Now, is this, we're going to do that video first?
We'll do the summary first and then we'll do the video.
So in summary, money facilitates trade because everyone accepts it as a final payment, allows us to measure the value and to make comparisons between different goods and services. It lowers our time preference as it allows us to save and spend it in the future. Okay, so we're going to show, we've got another little QR code here with a little short video. So we're going to show that.
Now, we know there was sound issues for some of you, so we're going to try and play it through the microphone so everybody gets it.
Yeah.
And this video is 4 minutes long. I'm actually wondering if we speed it up a little bit because it was a little bit slow, or leave it how it is.
We might not have English speakers.
Okay, all right. We're going to play it at regular speed.
Yeah.
It's quite a slow video. So here we go. If there's any issues with sound, please let us know.
Yeah.
And Francesco, when is moon? Not soon enough, my friend.
Let's talk about money. Recall the simple economy developed in gains from trade. We had two people, Jane and Gilberto Rahul, who were trading bananas and fish. There wasn't much reason for Jane and Gilberto Rahul to use money since they were only trading with each other and they were doing it simultaneously. Let's imagine, however, that Jane and Gilberto Rahul do have money on their little island and that they both accept it and trade for their goods. Jane gives Gilberto Rahul a banana in return for $1. Then Gilberto Rahul gives Jane a fish in return for that same $1. The result? Jane and Gilberto Rahul have traded one fish for one banana, just like they did before, but with an intermediate step. Seems pretty useless in this situation, but it segues nicely into one of the older laws in economics, Say's law. Say's law states that products like bananas are paid for in products like fish. It was popularized by Jean-Baptiste Say, who said, "Money performs but a momentary function in this double exchange, and when the transaction is finally closed, it will always be found that one kind of commodity has been exchanged for another." But if you're just trading things for other things, why add an intermediate step? Here's another example. Let's say that bananas only grow in the warm months and fish only migrate past the island in the cold months, and that both of these foods go bad at the end of the season. Now, without trade, Jane will be underfed in the cold months because she's no good at fishing, and Gilberto Rahul will be underfed in the warm months because he's no good at picking bananas. Let's say that it's the summer solstice and both islanders know that at the winter solstice they'll be rescued by a ship. There's going to be a warm season, then a cold season, then rescue. Gilberto Rahul says to Jane, "Look, I'm having trouble picking bananas this warm season. How about you give me some of your bananas this season, and I'll give you some of my fish next season?" To which Jane replies, "No, I'm not giving you bananas because I can't trust you to give me fish. There's nothing to make you keep your promise." So in this situation, there won't be any gains from trade because there won't be any trade. Now let's imagine that Gilberto Rahul has some American greenbacks in his pocket. He and Jane know that they will be able to spend this money after rescue. Gilberto Rahul can offer greenbacks for bananas in the warm months, and he can offer fish for greenbacks in the winter months. And Jane will take the deal because she knows that greenbacks have real value. The existence of money has allowed our islanders to trade perishable goods across time, which makes them both better off. So that's one way money is useful. Here's another way. Let's say that there are lots of islanders trading lots of items. Gilberto Rahul has a fish and he wants a banana. So he goes to Jane and he offers a trade. Jane says, "No, Gilberto Rahul, I don't want fish. I only want mangoes." Now Gilberto Rahul needs to find someone who wants fish and has mangoes. But what if the only person who has mangoes only wants bamboo tools? As you can see, it could get really complicated trying to make a simple trade. But suppose again that Gilberto Rahul has his greenbacks, and everyone expects to be rescued eventually, whereupon their greenbacks will be valuable. Then Gilberto Rahul can just trade his greenbacks to Jane for bananas, and Jane can trade the greenbacks for mangoes, and the mango guy can trade the greenbacks for bamboo tools. Once again, since money allows for more complicated trades to be made, it makes people's lives better. To answer my initial question, what is money? I'd say that money is a tool that allows humans to make complex trades. Like any tool, they use it because it can improve their lives.
Cool.
Alrighty. Sorry I didn't switch the screen right away at the start there. So we're going to go back to our diploma. All right, so that video link, just trying to think what the good way to share that would be. If anyone wants to watch it later on, you can scan it in here.
Yeah. Or we could put it
We
in
could
there.
share them. Yep. In the description.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. We'll put them in the description afterwards. Okay, functions of money. When it comes to buying and selling goods and services, money is a key player. It has several important jobs like making exchanges easier. With money, you don't have to find someone who wants exactly what you have to trade. Instead, you can use money to buy and sell anything you want. This makes trading and commerce much more convenient and efficient. Do you want to do the next one?
Yep. Okay. So being a unit of account. Money provides a universal standard of value that allows people to express and compare the price of different goods and services. This allows for a more efficient and transparent market where people can make informed decisions about what to buy and sell. Think of it like this. If you wanted to buy a new car, you could compare prices from different dealerships and make an informed decision about which one to buy based on the price in dollars. Without a unit of account, you'd have to try to compare the value of one car to another using something else, like the number of cows it was worth or the length of time it took to make the car.
Yeah, that'd be a bit confusing.
Yeah.
Unit of account. So that's the great thing about money, I guess, is it gives you a consistent account. Unit of account. Consumers know the value of something when you assign a price, a monetary value to it. So they have an example here of a MP3 mini player of $29 and a iPod mini, or whatever they are, MP3 player for $129. All right.
So that first one was being a unit of account, and now we're looking at being a store of value.
You want me to? A store of value. Money should maintain its value over time, making it useful as a way to save and invest the value of human labor. This allows people to use money as a tool to plan for the future and to borrow and lend money to each other. This is one of my favorite concepts, is actually being able to store your time value, which is what that value of human labor is. What's your store of value? So for example, they've gone and taken Bitcoin, gold, US dollars, and Ethereum. Funny example. And they've got a date here from March 14th, 2009, where the price dropped down to $3,846, 2019, $3,846. And then 1 year later, Bitcoin was then at $5,258, which was up 36%. Gold was $1,293. It went up to $1,529, or up an increase of 18.25%. The US dollar versus the euro, in 2019, it was 88 cents. And then in 2020, it was 90 cents, an increase of 2% or 2.14%. And then Ethereum, I guess they've used it for this very funny reason. It was $136.86 in 2019, and it decreased in value in 2020 to $127.76, minus 6.65%. So it's a funny example for me. So next time you're saving up for something special, remember that money is more than just a way to pay for things. It's a tool to help you plan and invest in your future. These three functions, which will allow economics to become complex and dynamic. Without money, it would be much harder to buy and sell goods and services, and our economy would be much less developed. I actually think it would also be much less efficient if that was the case as well.
Yeah.
if we had to exchange strawberries and cows or bananas and
It would be,
cars.
it would actually be a bit of a headache.
It would be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, when you think about it.
So money's an important human invention in
Yeah.
terms of being a tool.
Yeah.
All right.
So we've got a class exercise. So what function of money is this example of? So number one, or the first question, or first example, we have Robbie decides to save a portion of his weekly paychecks to buy a puppy. So because of course he'll be saving the money, then that would be a store of value.
Right.
Would you not think?
Decided to save a portion of his weekly paychecks to buy a puppy. So what they're actually doing here is they're asking us these three things. So they're asking us, which one is it? Making exchanges easier, being a unit of account, or being a store of value.
Yeah.
Robbie decided to save, I think that's the key word, a portion of his weekly paychecks to buy a puppy. So are we store of value?
Yep.
So we're going to say that
Store of value.
the first example was a store of value.
If you disagree,
let us know.
Let us know.
2, Jim buys 2 slices of pizza for $8.30 at Ray's Pizza. Is this a exchange, making exchanges easier, being a unit of account, or a store of value?
Well, it would be exchange.
Making exchanges easier?
Easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely making exchanges easier. Trying to swap your bananas for pizza might be a bit tricky.
Yeah.
And then we have Mark can't decide whether to buy concert tickets at $75 or buy a ski pass at $95. So I think what's happening here is he's trying to make a comparative buy between the two of them, which would, in my my opinion, is going to be the being a unit of account.
Yeah, absolutely, because he'll be weighing up a price difference. What, like your ski pass, you might get a full day or it might get a season of it.
Yep.
Whereas your concert ticket's only going to be a couple of hours.
Yes.
And things like that. He'll be weighing up what he would prefer to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
1
hour at the concert, getting all hot and sweaty, or $95 for
out the fresh air.
Yeah, a full day of exercise.
Guess what we like doing.
All right.
Okay, right. Next one. Where are we at?
Money characteristics. All right, so this one, this is a really important question because a lot of people who want to talk about what money is actually talk about these points. So these points are really important in the definition of what makes money, the tool money, actually useful. It's kind of like saying if you have a ruler and having no numbers on it, it's probably not that useful. But if you have if you have a rubber band with numbers on it, it's still not useful. So it's one of those things where people are actually describing the characteristics that make money super useful instead of a stretchy ruler or a ruler with no numbers on it. It needs to be a firm piece of material with numbers to make it useful.
Yeah. All right, money characteristics. So over time, people ultimately have realized that money must possess certain qualities in order to be effective as a medium of exchange. Now, these characteristics include durability, portability, divisibility, fungibility, scarcity, and acceptability. First one.
Durability refers to the ability of money to resist physical deterioration and last over time. This ensures that money can circulate in the economy in an acceptable and recognizable state. Gold is a durable material that can withstand wear and tear, making it a good representation of the durability characteristics of money. For example, versus bananas, which will go rotten pretty quick and you won't get far.
Yeah. Okay. Portability refers to the ease with which money can be transported and carried around. This allows people to use money to buy and sell goods and services without difficulty. Credit cards are portable as they can easily be carried in a wallet or purse, making them a good representation of a portability characteristic of money. So if you compare it to a cow, it's not going to be very portable.
I can ride my cow, that's useful.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not super portable if I want to put it on a plane and go overseas.
No.
Acceptability refers to the widespread acceptance of money as a form of payment so that people can use it to buy and sell goods and services with confidence. The US dollar is widely accepted as a form of payment, making it a good representation of the acceptability characteristic of money. So, US dollar is currently called the global reserve currency, and that would be why it's one of the most acceptable currencies in the world today. And for example, the New Zealand currency, if you go and take it to Australia, someone might accept it, but if you take it to Europe, then they're not going to. If you take the US dollar to Europe, New Zealand, Australia, everyone's going to accept it, basically. It'll be easy to exchange. So
Yeah.
it's a good unit.
Scarcity refers to the limited supply of money, which helps to maintain its value and prevent us from having to spend more money to buy the same amount of goods. Collectible stamps, especially rare and valuable ones, can be a good form of money because they are scarce and can appreciate in value over time. Stamp collectors often use their stamps as a way to invest their wealth and to diversify their portfolio. Artwork, collectible artwork.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah, it comes with scarcity.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Only one Mona Lisa.
Yeah, true.
All right. I noticed John mentions the word cash is not money. So, yeah, it's quite an interesting debate, John, because I'm not even sure if it's really a debate, because you're right. Currency is technically not money. It's different. So, yeah, the words are important, and it's a good thing to keep in mind. And I guess that's what we're learning about here. Fungibility refers to the interchangeability of money, so that the unit of money is equivalent to another unit of the same value. Money should be uniform. Copper coins are uniform in size and weight, making them a good representation of the uniformity characteristic of money.
Yeah.
Which is good. I don't really have a good example for us there, so I'm just gonna.
I was just thinking of carrots.
Carrots.
As you do carrots of exchange, you never know that you're going to have exactly the same size carrot if you're going to exchange it.
True.
I mean, you've got weight, I suppose.
Vegetables are a good
weight.
example
because
not all your potatoes are the same size, right?
No.
If you're going to trade you could try and trade a kg of potatoes, but you couldn't really trade individual potatoes because they're not the same size and weight. Yeah. Okay, good example.
Divisibility refers to the ability of money to be divided into smaller units so that people can use it to make purchases of varying amounts. Paper bills can be easily divided into smaller denominations, making them a good representation of the divisibility characteristic of money.
It's also kind of like what we just talked about with the potatoes, not being super divisible in a way.
Yeah.
All right. Overall, these characteristics make money a useful and effective tool for facilitating trade and commerce, and they are essential for the development and stability of economies. All right, so they have a class exercise here, and we're basically going to do it together, sort of. I've prepared the Word document, I've prepared the PDF so we can edit it. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it fast enough with the chat, but let's see how we go. Class exercise. Different assets have different properties and perform the functions of money to varying degrees. Society ultimately determines which asset is used as money based on factors such as its stability, scarcity, divisibility, transferability, and acceptance as a medium of exchange. To determine how well different items meet the specific characteristics of money, you can score each item on a scale from 1 to 5 for each characteristic. By tallying up these scores for each item, you can determine which one is best suited to be a form of money. So 0 is terrible, 5 is excellent, and 3 is okay. All right, so we're also going to leave the Bitcoin column empty. So the Satoshi Sat here used the following questions to help you determine how well the different items are in the table, how well they meet the characteristics of money. So we're going to start with cows, and we're going to go down. So we're going to do the durability, portability, fungibility, acceptability, scarcity, and divisibility. They've changed one word here, which is the fungibility for uniform.
Yeah.
All right. So the first question is how durable is a cow? And I mean, a cow could die.
A cow could die. I mean, the lifetime of a cow is not that long. Is it? I mean, I don't know.
Not compared to gold.
No, not
like
compared to
gold can
yeah.
last generations. A cow, what do you get? 10 years unless you eat it.
Yeah. I
50
mean,
years.
if you're lucky.
A 2?
wouldn't it?
We're going to give a cow a 2.
I'm going to give the cow.
Is that a generous 2? We're going to
Yeah.
find out.
Okay.
How portable is a cow?
Well, I mean, you can go locally. You can go from city to city or town to town, or
Yep.
you can transport it.
You can't really transport it internationally.
Internationally, it'd be a lot harder.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
I mean, you could ship them, but yeah.
I really like the usefulness of a cow being able to ride it and get food, but it doesn't help its portability. So another
2.
2 or 1, it's getting pretty
Yeah,
low.
it is
pretty
getting-
low
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
spectrum.
Okay.
Don't want to have to transport a whole cow to try and buy something. Uniformity. So we're going to read the uniformity again.
Is the money interchangeable with other forms of money?
I don't really think. Well, I mean, you can change a cow, but
Interchangeable.
you could change it for chickens or goats, right?
But it's not really easy. I mean, how do you know so many chickens is worth so many 1 cow?
It's a good question. So we're going to give it a low score, right?
Yeah, yeah.
A 1. We're going to say a 1. Acceptable. Is the money widely accepted as a form of payment? It's not today.
In India, it might be.
Oh, yeah, in India. Yeah, it's very true.
So it depends on where you're living.
Yeah. Well, what do you want to do then? Give it a 2?
Yes, yeah. Okay.
We're giving it a 2
2.
for acceptance, depending on your local economies.
Yeah.
All right. Scarce. How scarce is a cow? It depends.
I think there's a heck of a lot of them in New Zealand.
There's a lot of cows in New Zealand.
There's a few here, not a huge amount of cows.
Well, they let them roam on the street
Yeah.
here, and people don't run away with them. So,
No. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Scarce. It's not that scarce, really, is it? And people don't really want it. Give it a. What do you want to give it?
And you think you can always breed cows,
You can breed more cows.
so you can breed more cows. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Mm.
Okay, all right.
So you
So,
make
if you
more
got
cows.
smart, you could do it. So another 2.
Yeah.
And is a cow divisible?
Well, if it was dead, it would be.
Yeah, but then you lose your
There's
durability.
and everything. So really,
No.
it's not divisible.
We'll give it
No.
a 0. Okay. Cigarettes.
Mhm.
Are cigarettes durable? Durable.
Durable.
Let's go back.
Can money withstand wear and tear over time? Well,
To a degree, maybe more than a cow,
Yeah.
unless you start snapping them or smoking them.
Or they get wet.
Yeah, get wet. It's not a good thing.
No.
You want to give it less than that? 2?
Yeah, I'm going
2? Okay.
Yeah.
Portability.
Absolutely.
I reckon
think
they're really portable. Give it a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's portable. Uniform. They're pretty uniform, right?
Well, in a pack, they're all the same size, and they're all filters, and you
Like
know.
an uniform.
Oh,
Whoops.
Yeah.
Acceptability. If you're in prison,
yeah, I think they could be worth something, but I mean that's the only play. Well,
people who smoke are generally into them, but then
Yeah.
they might smoke their profits.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know, 3. It's case by
Yeah.
case. Scarce. In prison, they're probably scarce, but out in the real world,
no,
not really.
Yeah.
2.
no.
And divisible.
Well, you can divide a pack.
A pack of cigarettes is
Cigarettes,
divisible,
divisible.
but is an individual cigarette
Cigarettes,
divisible?
it's
No,
not.
we'll give it a 2.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Let's see.
Diamonds.
Durable.
Durable.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
They're real durable.
Yep.
Give that a 5.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Diamond tools.
Yeah.
They're portable.
Are they portable?
They're pretty good.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. But I imagine you would have a limited amount that you could take internationally.
This is true.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, you want to give it a 4 or a 3?
Yeah.
3 based on
Yeah,
international
I wouldn't
travel.
know how much you'd be allowed to carry on you. Yeah. To be
Well,
honest.
if you made jewelry,
Yeah.
you probably carry
Yeah.
as much
Okay.
as you can carry. I don't know.
Uniform.
Give it a 4.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Uniform.
No. They're not. Diamonds are not uniform. Acceptability.
I believe people would, but then again, you don't know how good or the quality of your diamond is if you're taking it as an exchange. So maybe not.
Yeah, I think it's really low, to be
Mm.
honest, because if somebody turns up and goes, here's a diamond, how can you easily tell if it's glass or a diamond? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's tricky. Scarcity. This is a tricky one because it's a man-made scarcity.
Okay. So you've got to mine for it. So you got to find it. So it's a bit like gold,
Yeah,
aren't they?
kind of. Gold is more scarce.
Okay.
3.
3.
And divisible.
No.
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 A 0.
Yeah.
You can't, not unless you grab it, or even if you
Well, you
grab
get
a
a
hammer
little-
and smash it.
Smash it, yeah,
That's no
but I
good.
mean, that's, yeah.
No good. All right. Euros. Durable. What do you reckon? Pretty good.
Yep.
4?
Yep.
4 or 5. Are they plastic now? They're plastic. So if you put it in the washing machine, it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, you can, yeah.
Yeah, it's
fine.
durable. Portable. Yeah, they're pretty portable.
Yep.
Yeah.
But again, a bit like you know, how much like, you know, you can only to
$10,000 on a plane.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So,
yeah, we're
yep.
limited, right?
Yeah, we are limited.
Okay.
Uniform? Well, euros are, yeah.
Yep. Uniforms are,
Yeah.
I mean, uniforms. Euros are uniform.
Yeah.
Acceptability. Yeah, they're pretty acceptable, right?
Yeah.
How acceptable? We'll give it a 4 because, you know, not every country's going to accept it. New
No.
Zealand's not super stoked about that.
Yeah. But you can go somewhere and exchange it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I turned up to a shop in New Zealand and
No,
said, "Hey,
they
will you
won't.
take it?"
Yep,
It's
no,
like
they won't.
no.
No.
Scarce.
No. And why is that?
Because
People
money
make
printer
more.
go burr. Divisible.
Yes.
Yep. What sort of rating? I'm gonna give it 4.
Yeah. All right. So, what is the time? Because I'm just thinking we've got a few.
10 to 8.
Okay.
So I'm going to add these up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got an 8.
We consider it as hard money.
8,
John,
9,
how much
10,
diamond
11, 12,
smash
13, 14,
for a
15,
coffee?
16,
How much? Yeah. Okay, John. How much diamond smash for a coffee? Yeah, it's very true. And Aunt Molly, there's not too many smokers in El Salvador.
We haven't seen that many.
There's a lot of vapors now. We see a lot of vapors. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Vaping seems to be
The new,
smoking.
yeah.
But in saying that, it is a lot of the foreigners we've seen come in seem to be vaping.
Vaping and smoking, to be honest.
Yeah, opposed to the locals.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Interesting.
And so we're
Very
apparently
good.
going to come back to the Bitcoin one.
Yep.
Okay. Now there was one question which I think, John, you did answer it. Sorry, Jerry, you said, do I need to clear my Bitcoin when traveling overseas? Absolutely not. For example, if I travel with 10,000 on me, do I need to clear customs? What if I take more than 10,000 worth of Bitcoin? It's in your head.
Yeah, not financial advice.
Yeah.
But,
Sorry. Yeah.
I don't know if you can. I'm shaking my head left to right. So, not financial advice, but yeah. And I'm not advising anybody do anything illegal. But at the same time, I do believe people have a right to privacy, and there are ways to keep your financial situation private. I mean, you don't run around with it written on your T-shirt telling all your friends and your neighbors what your financial situation is. So privacy is an important factor in life, and I would probably do some research on that, but you don't have to, especially if you left your hardware wallet in the country you started in, right? Read in between James's lines. Okay. Types of money. When it comes to money, there are 2 main categories, physical and digital. For physical money, we have 3 options. Fiat money is what we use every day, like paper bills and coins. It's issued by the government and accepted as a medium of exchange, even though it's not backed by any physical commodity. Representative money represents a claim on a physical commodity, like fiat money. It can also be paper bills, i.e. gold or silver certificates. But unlike fiat, it is backed by a physical commodity society considers valuable. This means, for example, that a gold certificate worth $1 can be traded for $1 worth of gold at a bank, which used to be the case in many countries. And I believe before 1971 is when America stopped its gold-backed currency. And today, the US dollar is no longer gold-backed. It is, I'm not even sure if it's government-backed. It's definitely war machine-backed, isn't it? And that could be government and private entities. Commodity money is a physical object that has intrinsic value and is widely accepted as a medium of exchange. Gold and silver fit into this category. So it's actually possible to go and buy gold and silver coins and ingots and bits and pieces, which you can trade. And if you buy like a specially stamped gold coin, it makes it way more recognizable, and a trader or a collector will happily accept it because they know what they're looking at. And so gold and silver is still used largely as a collector's tradable item. The power of money. Not all money is the same. So we've got our little Satoshi guy here. Commodity money. Objects like this gunpowder once served as commodity money. So I guess a lot of other things that could be commodity money are now traded on the stock exchange. Is it pork bellies are a famous one? Also, soybeans and corn are famous commodities.
Beans.
Cacao was one that people like physically walked around with and traded, opposed to massive things like stocks. Representative money. Money like the silver certificate could be exchanged for silver. And you could actually literally go into a bank and they would give you a plastic bag or whatever it was, a bag that had silver granules in it. So they used to have, I think they're called grains of silver that you could actually exchange for, which is pretty cool. And fiat money. Today, Federal Reserve notes are fiat money, decreed by the federal government to be an acceptable way to pay debts. And to be blunt, it is literally like saying, hey, here's some monopoly money, and because it's my game, it is going to be traded for value. That's pretty much what that means when it says by decree of the federal government.
All right, we've got some light bulbs. So commodities or commodity money are often considered to be fungible and have a consistent quality. For example, 1 barrel of oil is generally considered to be the same as another barrel of oil, regardless of where it comes from or who produced it. And then we've got another light bulb, payment rails. Payment rails are like digital highways that help electronic currencies move from one place to another online. They make it easier, faster, and safer to pay for things online, whether you're using a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or a traditional payment method like a credit card.
I'm going to read the electronic currency section. So electronic currencies are a type of money that can be used for online transactions. They are like digital versions of regular money, like dollars or euros, and can be used to buy and sell things online via payment rails. And so what they've got here is a little graphic with some examples. So the different payment rails, cash, which you can then use ACH, which is a bank transfer, and checks, which is basically like a promissory note to trade monetary value in your local system. Then internationally, you can start using things like wire transfers, which are done between banks, card networks, which allow people with like credit cards to travel internationally and do a transaction, or even locally, and then cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and others, which could be traded for value as well. Now, my favorite one that we're going to read out here, and this should be everybody's area of interest at the moment, central bank digital currencies, commonly known as CBDCs. These are digital versions of a country's fiat currency, which are issued and backed by the central bank and therefore intermediated by the government. This means government is the middleman in the exchange. It's going to be a hot and popular topic for the very near future, so keep an eye out for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, digital payment rails in the traditional financial system consist of the technology and systems that enable electronic payments to be made and processed, such as bank servers, databases, and secure networks. However, there is always a middleman, such as a bank or a financial institution that charges a fee and has the authority to accept, cancel, revert, or delay transactions. One thing I'm going to just change a little bit, the topics. When we arrived here in El Salvador, I didn't realize the power of Bitcoin Lightning, Lightning Network, and how we can pay through the Bitcoin Lightning Network, and you're not dealing with any middleman. It's really cool, and it was so exciting to actually see that. But yeah, I'll carry on.
It's powerful.
It's really powerful. Yeah. Okay. The main types of digital payment rails in the intermediate financial systems include.
You want me to?
Yep.
Card networks. These are networks that facilitate the transfer of funds between financial institutions and merchants when a customer makes a purchase using a debit or credit card. Examples include Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. And we're going to see an example below of how many people you put in between to make that happen. Digital wallets. A digital wallet is an online account that allows users to store and manage their electronic currencies, i.e. digital assets such as digital fiat currency, cryptocurrencies, or loyalty points. Users can make payments using their e-wallet or electronic wallet by transferring funds from their account to the recipient's accounts. And there's already versions of these around. So you could actually probably call Venmo or Cash App a digital type of wallet. And then if you've got point systems, so I know there are special apps out there that collect points for you. They're also wallets for those point systems, which basically, it turns them into like a digital currency. And cryptocurrencies, digital currencies that use digital payment rails or digital highways to move from one place to another online. They can be thought of as cars that can travel directly from one point to another without stopping at intermediaries, like toll booths or on a highway. This means that cryptocurrencies can be transferred and exchanged without the need for a middleman like a bank. And so we take a look at this little diagram that we have here. The credit card payment process. So if Nicki and I are the customer, we would go to the merchant's business and they may have a website that sits on top of that. And then they have a web payment software. So you often have to buy a separate payment system to integrate into your website. Then that talks to the merchant's bank processor. That then goes and talks to the credit card company to make sure that they're okay to give you credit for the transaction you're requesting. And then they will go and talk to the bank to make sure that they're okay. And then they will finalize the transaction at the original shop owner's bank.
Yeah.
And so you've got all these people in between. They're all running a business. They all expect to be paid because they're all providing a service. They all have expenses, electricity, people. So this is a lot of people, a lot of mouths, a lot of hands out in between. And this is why cryptocurrencies are they're not like a 1 or a 2% improvement on the system. They're a significant improvement on the system because you can remove everything in between, basically. I mean, there are nodes, but a large number of people are going to run Bitcoin nodes because it's actually incredibly cheap for them to do it. But I'm not busy taking a cut in the middle to facilitate transactions. So it's super powerful. I don't want to go into that too deep right now because we're not here for that.
No.
The credit card payment process is an example of a payment rail. And then they've got a example light bulb thing here, which I feel is a little bit side notish, but let's read it out. Stable coins are cryptocurrencies that are designed to maintain a stable value relative to an asset, like the US dollar. Some are backed by physical assets, and all are used as a way to store value or to make transactions without the volatility that can be associated with other cryptocurrencies. So there are actually cryptocurrencies out there that people will back them with, for example, gold or silver, which is quite cool. And that's what they're talking about there. Otherwise, a general stable coin is generally backed by a fiat currency. So if they are offering 1 million stable coins, in theory, they should have $1 million of fiat currency in their bank account. So if people traded them, they could get the same value. All right. I think we're pretty much done. This is the last page.
Last page.
All right.
Okay. A currency operating without intermediaries is more efficient and beneficial for society. It prevents a few individuals from controlling the money supply and concentrating their power. However, finding a technology that facilitates secure transactions without relying on trust between parties has been a challenge throughout history. To achieve this, a currency must be created that operates like the internet, where control is distributed among everyone and no one at the same time. This requires the agreement of all parties, including those who hold power, to relinquish control for the greater good. But what would such a currency look like?
I don't know. Alrighty.
Wow. So that was chapter 1.
Chapter 1. And that took about an hour, which is what we expected, which is great. And next week, we're going to do this again, but we're going to do chapter 2, from barter to Bitcoin and CBDCs, a travel through time.
Absolutely.
If anybody wants to go ahead without us, feel free to do it in your own time at home. We do this because we know that if you sit down and set a day and a time and you do it, you will do it.
Absolutely.
And
we're making ourselves accountable.
Yes. This is an accountability exercise for ourselves. And it's also fun for us to connect with people and do this.
And Gladys, I see you've come on. So hi, nice to meet you. If there's any questions, any comments people would like to say, talk about. Yeah, we've got a few minutes. We can discuss anything.
Yes. So
happy.
Please drop in any comments if you've got them. Okay, I'm just checking the Rumble one, and we've got somebody here making a bit of a joke. Dirty fiat. I teach 5th grade, and we got into fiat versus commodity-based money. That is so awesome. That's cool. I love it that you're talking about that with 5th graders. CBDCs scare the crap out of me. Yes, I agree with that. They are actually quite a scary tool. I understand the convenience factor, but unfortunately, I think the pandemic demonstrates how people will abuse power if they can. And unfortunately, I think that's what will happen with a CBDC.
Yeah. And Daniela, thank you for your comment. That's great. And then the difference between currency and money.
Yep. No, the difference between currency and money. So, I guess currency is. That's a really good question, and I'm not exactly sure how to answer that in the best possible way. But there's the 5 or 6 elements that we had there that define what a really good money is. And what we're going to discover is that the currency is actually doesn't fulfill some of those roles. And one of the most important roles is that it's not scarce. And the fact that it's not scarce makes it a poor money. And that is why you would refer to it as a currency instead. And also the fact that the main reason it has value is actually because it is being enforced. So the currency is being enforced upon people in the case today through military action, basically. If you don't play the game with the currency, especially on a country level, you're going to end up with some military force coming in and backing that up. If you use a more sound money, you will find that that's probably less likely, because you're incentivized to behave differently when you can't just go and print yourself out of a situation. But that's a great question. I need to research that more and make sure I'm clear, because I feel like I understand it, but obviously I can't explain it well. So here we go. On the Rumble chat, TM Trog, it is the future. I'm fighting like hell to educate so we don't march off that cliff. Yep. I don't know if it's possible, but if you can get your kids on an open source Lightning wallet, like Wallet of Satoshi it's not self-custody, but it's a super fast, easy wallet if your kids have got phones, or even getting them to do a transaction. The Bitcoin Brazil guys, they do fruit for Lightning, and basically I think they charge like 2 cents for a piece of fruit, and
Yeah.
the kids come and pay with Lightning,
Yeah.
because what they're doing is they're training them how to pay with the Lightning Network, and it's like training kids how to use a computer.
Yeah, and what they've actually designed little bulk cards, and so they can get loaded, and so they don't actually need a phone. They've just got a bulk card that's been loaded. So one household could have one phone that then can load up all the cards, which is really cool. So the kids, so you're not having to come up with the outlay of getting a phone for the children.
Yeah. Yes, and the technology is developing. People are putting in convenience tools. And Rabinal, awesome job, guys. Thank you for taking the time to educate us. No, thank you for joining us. I mean, we're just partaking in this free content which My First Bitcoin has put out. And if you guys want to support the true contributors here, there are donation links down below for My First Bitcoin. They need every sat they can get, because they literally use it to A, run their operation, but B, they also use it to give to their students so they can do live transactions and get the diploma.
And it was quite nice that because they've only just launched the English version, they had a YouTube live today as well at the same time. But they've just finished, and they mentioned
awesome
on Twitter that
Thank
we were
you,
going.
My First
So,
Bitcoin.
thanks, John. And Tajana has just come on board. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. Are you seeing? Okay, Patrick, are we seeing any Canadians? Okay, to El Salvador, it's super hot there.
Canadians?
There are so many Canadians moving here. And is it super hot there? Yeah, it's rather hot at the moment. We're still coming in. March, April are definitely the hottest months, and but I like it. Ronnie. Relocated here, no regrets. No, absolutely not. No regrets. And obviously you don't either, so that's cool. All right. Are you going into...
I was just quickly looking up.
That currency, yeah.
Okay, so I just thought I'd quickly Google currency while we were waiting while Nicki was answering the questions. A system, this is from the Google dictionary, a system of money in general use in a particular country. The fact or quality of being generally accepted or in use. So I guess a currency is, again, a type of money, and what we're learning about here in this first chapter is that not all monies are equal.
John wants the QR code for My First Bitcoin to ready to zap.
Okay. All right. Let's bring up the My First. So this is their on-chain QR code. So hang on. I need to change the screen.
Do you want to change it to Lightning?
I need to change that.
Have they got Lightning one?
That's the on-chain one, John. This is okay. Can I enlarge that? That's the question. We can. This is the My First Bitcoin Geyser campaign. For anybody who doesn't know, what this is this is basically a Bitcoin First crowdfunding app, which is really cool. So anybody who's here late, Geyser actually donated 10 million Satoshis to My First Bitcoin tonight, which is awesome. That's super generous of them. I think it's 0.1 of a Bitcoin, which is awesome. At the moment, was that $2,000?
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. So if anyone wants to help these guys, they will love it. And yes.
Okay, so you want to zap live, John? So can you zap that and we can see it come up on their screen and their thing?
Yeah. Yeah, we can see it come up on the leaderboard. Let's have a look. You can see Nicki and James in that leaderboard.
Yeah.
I've just done lots of little ones.
It just zapped
one. Here we go.
Here we go.
There we go. We
John.
can see it. John. Ooh,
how awesome is that? How quick. This is amazing.
It's amazing.
So cool.
John just sent from Australia to El Salvador.
Yep.
A donation, what's that, John? Like $20 or something. All right.
Come on, join me. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, John.
Yeah.
And so John Denner here at My First Bitcoin. You got John in Australia zapping you value right now, which is awesome.
All right. And Ronnie's here saying
Ronnie?
Yeah.
Which Ron?
Yeah.
My First Bitcoin Ronnie. Awesome. Awesome, Ronnie.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So any other? Are you looking on that one? Yeah.
Okay. So, Rabinal, can I donate in fiat money or only in Bitcoin for my first Bitcoin?
Ronnie, can you answer that?
Yeah, Ronnie, can you answer that? So I only know of making donations in Bitcoin. I don't know if my first Bitcoin have a bank account set up or a Stripe account or something like that. Ronnie is the person who would know.
Yeah, Ronnie, if you're still on, if you can answer whether people can pay in fiat or donate in fiat.
So yeah, that's a good question. But I think what the running joke is do the diploma and then you learn how to send them Bitcoin.
Absolutely. So by the end of the 10 weeks, you'll definitely be able to send them Bitcoin. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay.
All right.
I think that's us.
Yeah, that went really well. Well, we think it went really well.
Yeah. We'd love suggestions because we're going to be doing this each week for the 10 weeks. So if you've got any ideas or suggestions, please let us know so we can,
we want to improve. We're always looking to improve.
Yeah.
We've got lots of cool things that have happened recently, which are us improving and what we're doing. On our website here, I know it's not a sexy website, but that's because I basically do all our geek stuff. It's practical. So what's going on here is on the right-hand side, you can put in your name and your email and you'll go in the drawer. We are definitely going to give away at least one hardware wallet.
Yeah.
If anybody from a hardware company is listening and would love to be part of this, please send us a DM on Twitter because we'd love to hear from you. We're going to reach out to some people as well. Because we think this is a great cause and this isn't for us, this is for our users.
Yeah.
So that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, Ronnie, not a problem. We're so excited that this has come out.
Yep. Oh, okay. Yeah. So Rabinal, there is currently no bank account deposit.
Yeah.
If you would like to,
I suppose do the diploma and save the money.
Yeah, save the money. Time
preference.
Save the money.
Time preference. Yeah, save the money, and then you will be able to pay with your Lightning.
J Dub is asking a question. Do you have to have money in the El Salvador bank for a certain amount of time? Now, I'm not sure if that question is in reference to something in particular.
No. Is it? Yeah.
So I'm not sure what that means.
If you could extend a little bit on that, whether, I sort of, what comes up to me is residency. Do we need it for residency, or not? I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh, property.
For property, do you have to have property in the El Salvador bank, or do you have to have money in the El Salvador bank
for a certain amount of time to buy property? No, you don't.
There's ways to buy property here as a non-resident. You will set up a bank account straight away.
You can. We've actually got a video
we do.
with Gladys talking about mortgages here in El Salvador. Yes, you do need to open a bank account to get a mortgage, of course, and she can help you through that whole process. But you don't necessarily need to have bank money in the bank for a certain length of time. One thing you do, though, if you're getting wire transfers into a bank account here in El Salvador, you do need to have your account open for 3 to 6 months before you can access that money.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're not here to promote that, but we're just letting you know that that's there. And there's a link on our website at the bottom. So someone just, Bastian, Patrick, I think Nicki and James have neighbors from Canada on both sides. So, we do. Both of them are also on social media, so I'm sure they won't mind me mentioning their names. But 2 people from Paradise on one side, and we have Tom
and Emily.
Tom and Emily, I think Tom the men's coach, I
think,
on the other side.
Yep.
And there are other Canadians scattered around the place as well.
Yeah.
We've actually got an interview with Ollie, who's got a Kinigway Cafe, who's a Canadian as well, which is cool.
Thank you. All right. Hey, not a problem. Really, I mean, it was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We will see you next week. We're really looking forward to it. We really appreciate that you guys have taken the time out to spend time with us and do this with us. It makes it rewarding for us.
Yeah, Absolutely. All right.
right.
Have a good night. We'll
Thank
see you
very
next week.
much. I'm going to find the right one, which is